Today I'm with William Coughlin. William, maybe you can just let our audience know your role within the Jeep brand. And behind us, we've got the all-new Jeep Recon that's been revealed. We're here at the LA Auto Show, and there's lots of good stuff, lots of new reveals here. So, but today we're going to focus on some of the 4xe platform with the Recon here. So maybe let everyone know who you are.
Yeah. So Mike, good to see you again. We last spoke in Chicago at the auto show where we were unveiling the new Wagoneer S and the specific trim. So I'm the sales operations director for the Recon, the Wagoneer S, and then very recently the Grand Wagoneer, which has been refreshed, repriced, reinvigorated really. And that really, I think, kind of speaks to all of Jeep, as we've seen a lot of momentum this year, heading into a fantastic Q4 with a lot of action, and we've got a pretty packed floor.
And the range extended one is also, I know it's not here, but that's an awesome platform to see. I think that's going to be a good bridge for people that maybe don't want to get into an EV. Maybe they'll realize how far they can actually go on that EV, right? On that platform.
And we're excited to share more details kind of later on next year, but it speaks to the evolution of freedom of choice. We've got plug-in hybrids, we've got pure EVs and gas engines, and it's really resonating with our customers. So we're excited to expand that while maintaining all of our capability metrics that we need to do.
Yeah, I love it. So I was an anti-EV person myself, bought a 4xe because I think you guys were the first manufacturer to make something hybrid look not like a hybrid, and it really, I think you guys really did a nice job with that. And some of these vehicles do a great bridge for those who are not ready for the EV platform.
Yeah, and if you like that, you're going to love this. Speaking of not looking like an EV, correct. I mean, the Recon is truly unique in the marketplace. So we're really excited to bring that to market. As you can see, this one here, it's got the doors off, the glass off. That's all with no tools. It takes about 5 minutes to do all of that, and you're on your way. And then it has an available Sky One Touch power top, which you'll recognize from the Wranglers as well. And as I said, it's truly unique. There's nothing else like it, and we're really excited.
And it is trail rated. Maybe you could answer this. I had someone on our team, or one of our videos the other day say, you know, when are they going to actually test this on the trail? And maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's got the trail rated badge, it's been tested on the trail before it earns that badge, correct?
Yeah, 100%. And actually, you can see some of the footage that we had on the video. If you're able to stick around and catch that, they were really doing it. We went out to Moab, Utah, so we put the Moab trim name on this. That's not just for show. Yep. We put the trail rated badge on there. That requires a lot of durability testing, a lot of literally driving in the sand, in the snow. All of those the select train drive modes are vetted and validated to make sure that they're calibrated correctly, keep occupants safe, know what they're doing, and this has serious chops. You know, it's got the 33-inch tires on here, full-size spare. That's part of our trail rated process too. Everything that you need, and it's got, I forgot to mention, a mechanical locker in the back with a 15-to-1 ratio, so it can really do all the things that you see in the video. It's really awesome.
Can you talk a little bit about the protection underneath for the battery off-road, right? I mean, we skid plates and everything, you know, and the other thing, you know, you see a lot of people say is, you know, it's an electric vehicle, it can't wheel, but that instant torque, you know, it almost makes it a better vehicle platform for off-road. But what can you talk a little bit about what protects that, all the components under the vehicle?
Yeah, so the battery itself is waterproof, so we've got that covered to hit the 24 inches of water fording. We also added some skid plate protection in the front and rear to help with the approach and departure angles also. And it really is coming down to the protection of the electronic drive motors also. And so when you look at that and that instant torque that you have, protecting that, make sure it doesn't get too scratched up and dented, so you have that fully throughout the trail. And we also did some work to make sure that you maintain a decent state of charge while you're doing all that, because that's another thing that a lot of people are concerned about. I don't want to go too far, I don't want to get too off the grid. Well, you still can't. It's got 230 miles of range on this trim, and in the testing that we saw, it really didn't take that much off of it when you're out there. They were able to do Poison, Spider, Hell's Gate, some of those other legit trails, and drive it out there, do the runs, do a couple different versions of the testing, come back, and they still had plenty of charge. And as the network continues to proliferate, as we gain access to the Tesla supercharger network for this as well, we've got that coupled with our Free to Move network. We're almost at over 200,000 charging points across the country, and really think that that's a great benefit to our customers. And so range anxiety is a thing for all EVs, and I don't want anyone to think that the Recon won't or will leave you stranded or anything like that, because we've got you covered.
So that's a perfect segue, because my next question was, you're adopting the Tesla network. are these vehicles, the BEVs, going to stay on the J1772 plug, or are they going to move over to the the NACS?
So we're launching with that plug, the CCS port here. That's consistent with the Charger and the Wagoneer S as well. And then we did announce that we will be transitioning to NACS later on. So we're just finding the right time to do that. And as you saw in probably our reveal event that we had the Overland concept that's there. That's going to be coming out later. So as we time up product actions, unique interventions, continuing with capability, we're just finding what works best to bring that to market. But there are requirements we have to hit to be part of the network. That's going to be happening, and Jeep will come along for the ride.
But in the meantime, you likely will still utilize that network with the proper adapter, correct?
Yes, correct. And we actually can utilize the Magic Dock Tesla stations today.
Sure.
And so we're just continuing to expand on that, and then we'll have more details to share about how we're rolling that out and how customers can get access to it and when it's available.
Perfect. So it's going to spin around here on the back. I notice it's got 4xe, and I've been on a few, calls with the nomenclature of the 4xe. Is there any specific plan as to what vehicles are going to hold that 4xe badge, right? We've got hybrid, we've got BEV, right? We've got potentially this range extending. They're all kind of 4xes, and I think it was Brodendorf who said if it's got a plug, it should say 4xe on it. What are your thoughts on what vehicle should honor that badge?
Well, I'm not going to go against my CEO here publicly with that one, but no, totally agree. And it's gaining a lot of traction, so to speak. 4xe stands for electrified capability. It stands for Jeep. We launched it with the plug-in hybrids. We're extending it to the BEVs. We've also got it on the Wagoneer S. That's behind me too, that we brought out last year. So as we continue to kind of tell that story about freedom of choice, what 4xe stands for, it's really going to resonate with customers. And I think that as we continue to roll it out, you're just going to see more of it. So 4xe will be synonymous with electric capability.
I like it. So this is built on the Stella Large platform, correct? So I imagine you can't reveal anything, but I think the one advantage that we have is that we know multiple power plants fit in there. Can you talk anything about maybe what the future holds for gasoline or hybrid in this platform?
Yeah, so it's just that. It is a multi-energy platform. That has been the case. We're seeing some of the other Stellantis products that are built on Stella Large adopt that. So I think stay with us, more to come, but we know that we can do it, and we'll see.
Awesome. And then, I know on the Ram platform, they have recently put out like a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. I think they earned some confidence in customers. Is there any thoughts or can you comment at all at potentially that maybe we'll see that kind of same support from the Jeep lineup?
Anything is possible. And as we look at it, loyalty, reliability are the key purchase reasons no matter what segment you're in. And Jeep has been there in the past, so we know where we need to be in the future. So just because it's got a new powertrain or something like that, it's an all-new vehicle, we stand behind it and we're going to do what's right. So as we roll out a company-wide kind of effort for that, I think you'll see some of those details in the next couple months or a year.
Awesome. I know this probably wasn't specifically your project, but is there any comment or discussion on why we did not get a Gladiator 4xe?
Yeah, I mean, not my product, so I can't tell you. But I think the Gladiator is a fantastic truck, which I think you know well. It does all the truck stuff. If I recall, it's got best-in-class towing. It's really awesome, and we're seeing a lot of momentum behind that vehicle as well. Sales have been up specifically in Q3. Q3 for the brand overall was our best quarter in 2 years. So all of the Jeep nameplates are getting that momentum. We're seeing a lot of attention to it, and Gladiator's doing really cool stuff. So stay with us on that one too.
I will, and if you guys are all listening, we want a 5.7 liter Hemi in the Gladiator. So for all those listening,
Hemi and everything.
Let's go right, Hemi and everything. Yeah. But and we love the 392s, but not everyone wants an $80,000 Jeep, right? And so I think the average guy would love a 5.7 liter in the Gladiator. So to the powers to be, let's go.
Well, say, if you love that, don't look away at electric. This is 650.
Oh, believe me, I get it. I own a 4xe, and I've driven them all, and my son there behind the camera drools over the Wagoneer S because he loves how fast it is.
Yeah,
so you're not wrong.
So this one's not too far behind it, right? It's the most powerful SUV under 70,000 with a 0 to 60 time of 3.6 seconds, and you can take the doors off. I think that's really, really, again, I talked about it being unique. There's nothing else like it, and so I encourage folks who say, oh, we need a V8, we need everything, try one of these. The instant torque is amazing. Once you try it, I really think you'll have a hard time going back.
I actually agree with that. This is definitely one of those you put butts in seats and it makes a difference. The haters hate until they actually drive one, and I can say that because I was probably one of those people, to be honest with you, and I agree.
Yeah.
One more question. So it's probably not a secret that the $7,500 tax incentive certainly helped propel making the 4xe the #1 PHEV vehicle on the road, right? Do you foresee any, because of the missing incentives, do you see Stellantis or anyone as a background stepping up and helping with any of those, missing rebates or incentives, or do you think that will hurt the market in general? I mean, not just Jeep, right? The EV market that made an impact. So how do you think that'll look going forward?
Yeah, I think it still remains to be seen. I don't think that the $7,500 was the only driver for PHEV adoption, but it certainly was a factor. Can't deny it. But we had a compelling product. So with this, the $7,500 has gone away. We're still launching it because we believe in the product. So I think that we'll wait and see kind of how the EV market adapts. I think the industry overall, you take out that amount of money, there's going to be an effect. But at the end of the day, it means you have to rely on your product, how you tell the story, and bringing it to market with the reliability and the durability that customers want. And we're doing that here. So I think that within the industry will probably be a factor, but I'll stand behind this product no matter what the incentive structure from the government is, and think we're going to succeed.
Fair enough, and I will agree. It's definitely one of a kind. I mean, I think you're calling this the first ever open-air off-road electric vehicle, right?
It is the only EV designed with removable doors, rear glass, and an available power top. Yep.
And one last question, I promise this time. So I know there was one question was, can we put 35s on there? And I think the answer was, we'll let the aftermarket team tell us that. So right, is that typically how this works? Moving like in the Jeep lineup, where you kind of put something out and let aftermarket, get their hands on it and figure out what accessories work? Yeah,
it's a little bit of both. I mean, our engineers are some of the best in the business, so I'm not going to speak to specifics, but they do crazy stuff all the time. Yeah. But the Rubicon on the Wrangler was born off of that lunatic fringe that kind of went out and said, how capable can you make a product? And just because it's an electric, we're not stopping that spirit. So again, the aftermarket's going to work with us. We're going to see some exciting things, and we love that. The Jeep community is so passionate. I mean, your organization, everyone takes what we give them and personalizes it, takes it to the next level. So we'll work hand in hand and see what we can do and really make this thing special.
Well, I really appreciate your time today, and I will say it is cool to see that Jeep as a brand definitely listens to their audience. I feel, we asked for a V8 in the Wrangler, and we got a V8 in the Wrangler, right? And we got a V8, all right. But now people are saying we want a smaller V8, right? So, but they do, you listen to the audience, and from an aftermarket standpoint, I think it's kind of interesting. What was the #1 thing I think these people put in their Wranglers were halo headlights. The JL came out, and we got halo headlights. So I think there's definitely something to the brand listening to the audience.
Yeah, for sure. And we just appreciate all the support, right? I think it's, as I mentioned, there's a lot of momentum behind the brand. We're doing really cool things, 12 for 12 coming out, and it's across all products. You look here, the new Cherokee's here, the Recon, refresh Grand Cherokee, refresh Grand Wagoneer. We're taking the feedback that we've gotten, and we're putting money behind it. I think when we spoke in Chicago, we talked about $3 billion of investment this year. Well, here it is. Yeah. I think it looks great. They drive great, and the customers are really responding to it. We're looking forward to a big year next year. Yeah, and there's a ton of great stuff here. Like you said, four new products here. And I was just talking to Ryan. I mean, no pun intended, but you guys are on the gas. Lots of good stuff, and it's exciting to see what's coming forth. I'm excited to see you guys at the Chicago Auto Show too. And again, I appreciate your time, and thanks again. Yeah, of course. Good to catch up. Thank you. Thank you.